I have tried filming this video already, but instead of looking like this, I look like this. Yeah, I forgot to turn the light on, so I'm filming this again. Today I am talking about how far I think Arsenal can go in the Premier League. Well, not just the Premier League, sort of all competitions really, because there's been a lot of talk about them, how far they can go, can they get into the top four. I seen on TalkSport this morning actually. I don't know what his name is. Is it Adrian Durham? Say that Arsenal realistically should get third. Don't want to give away spoilers, but I disagree with that a little bit. Today I'll be talking about how far they can go. Before you sort of go into how they do this season, I feel like you need a bit of backbone on, not you specifically if you're watching this, just in general. I think we need to discuss how they did last season. See how we can translate that into this season, basically. In 1920, we saw Mikel Arteta arrive at Arsenal after Freddie Ljungberg was caretaker manager and Unai Emery, of course, got sacked. He took over about halfway through the season and finished 8th, which obviously, isn't good enough for Arsenal. But I think the next season after that was where, where can you take this Arsenal side? And he took them from 8th to 8th. They only managed, despite getting 2 managers sacked the season before, only getting 4 more points in total. And they didn't move up positionally either in the table. However, the 21-22 season, the season that's just gone, I think for the first time we saw what this Arsenal team, really can achieve. He won the FA Cup, we've seen it a bit then, but that was actually a much different squad than it is now. He managed to move from 8th to 5th, which is, good, and managed to increase the points by 8 as well. Mikel Arteta is showing continuous progress at Arsenal. I really didn't expect them to compete for top 4 last year. I thought they'd be somewhere around 6th, 5th, 7th, around there, maybe even 8th. I didn't think they had a good team going into last season, but they played really good football. They were energetic. They defended well. They were organised at times. I was really impressed last season. Now, obviously, the easiest way to get better is signings. And if you look at the signings he's brought in, if we just mention the ones from last summer, Aaron Ramsdale, who now makes Arsenal a much tougher team to press because he's got that sort of Edison style about him where if you press, there's a big chance you might get undone. They might play out from the back because they can do that very well. I think we've seen that so many times. Arsenal, that's one of their biggest strengths, is passing out from the back, and he's been a big part of that. Same for Ben White. He's much more comfortable on the ball than who did they even have? Mustafi. Tomiyasu is a player I've been really, really impressed with. Obviously, the injury is a bit of a concern. He didn't play that many times last season, but whenever he did play, I thought he was fantastic. Defensively, he seems really assured. On the attack, he doesn't seem bad either, and he's massive for a fullback, so he doesn't really lose headers at the back post, which is good. And of course, he brought in Martin Odegaard, who was, when he was there on loan, I didn't think he would be that good. I thought he was okay, but I thought, you've signed him now for, what was it, 35 million? I'm not sure, but I think he proved definitely me wrong. Last year, I thought he was actually really, really good. I think the game against Watford, he was really, really special, that game. And he controlled games at times, especially the Watford one. When I looked into the defensive stats, I thought I would see that their defence would actually improve this season. However, in the 2021 season, they actually had the 3rd best defence in the Premier League, whereas last season they had the 7th. They conceded 39 in the 2021, and they conceded 48 in the 21-22 season. But in that season, where they conceded 39 and had the 3rd best defence, they were actually a bit more. They were so much more defensive. He was playing a 5 at the back. They weren't really attacking. watching Arsenal was quite boring as well. Whereas he's managed to keep a good defence. Having the 7th best defence is quite good. You'd expect next season for them to try and aim higher than that. But they now play so much better football. So much better football. And I think it is their attack, actually, that was letting them down last year. Which, actually, is one of my problems with Arsenal, is their... Oh, hang on. No. Is actually their attack. I don't think it's a lot of potential. No, I think Arsenal fans should realise that if you are going to compete for top 4 and you're going to get 4th or 3rd, you're going to have to be better than Spurs, who have, for me, I think the best front 3 in the Premier League at the moment. Manchester United, you look at who they have. They have Ronaldo, Sancho. If Rashford can come back to form, then that's obviously a fantastic player in there. And then you look at Chelsea, who've just signed Raheem Sterling, but their attack is also their weak point as well. Maybe there is a chance there. When you look at how a team is going to do this season, I usually look at how they did in the last 10 games, not because it doesn't determine anything really. It's just, that's the last time you were playing competitive football. Now, I won't lie, when I was looking at this, it was a bit concerning because they didn't end very well. They managed to get 15 out of 30. It's not great by any means, but it actually, for me, flagged Arsenal's biggest weakness, which is going to away grounds that you would consider really tough. You look at Liverpool, smashed 4-0. Man City, smashed 5-0. Lost to Everton, relegation Everton. Away to Tottenham, lost 3-0, was it? Newcastle, that was the one for me. Newcastle, there's actually 3 more. I'll name them. Newcastle, Palace, Brentford. They got smashed in all 3 of them games. In all of these games, they got smashed. They didn't perform. They didn't even turn up. Now, you can lose these games, but you've got to perform. And they're not doing that when they go to tough away grounds. And I think that is a big problem. If you look at these, there's 7 games I have there. That's 21 points lost, and you're not turning up. If you can turn that 21 points lost to 13 or something, or 12, I'd have more hope that Arsenal will get top 4. They are the 6th best team, actually, last season, away from home. So it's not that they can't win away, but it's whenever you consider a ground that's tough, when you go away to, they're just not turning up. And if they can close that gap, they'd be so much closer to top 4. They would have got top 4 last year if they could have won 3 out of those 7. They would have got top 4. Because if you look at the home record, they're 3rd in the Premier League. They accumulated 41 points out of, is it 57? Yeah, 57 points. 41 out of 57. That's really, really good. They were third in the Premier League. But it's those tough away games. I just cannot trust Arsenal. When Brentford had Arsenal, first game of the season, you just know they're going to lose. For me, it's similar. They're going to Crystal Palace away. First game of the season, Friday Night Football. I can't see them winning. Let's have a look at some of the signings they've made this year. Now, let's focus a bit more onto this season coming up. They've signed Jesus. I like it. I like the signing. I think he's a good player. I think he's a really good football player. But I prefer him as a winger. I remember the first time he played winger was against Real Madrid away at home in the Champions League. It was the first time I saw him on the wing. He was left winger, I think, and Kevin De Bruyne was up front. And I realised, I was like, he's pressuring so well. He's pressuring the fullback. He has the energy for a winger. He has the football ability. He can get assists. He can get an odd goal here or there. He is a good goal scorer. I think he's a really fantastic winger. But at striker, I think he's good. I think he's a good striker. I think he's a good signing for Arsenal. But when I look at, Man United having Harry Kane, Liverpool having Darwin Núñez, Man City, Haaland, Chelsea, Chelsea are lacking a little bit. And then I see Arsenal with Jesus, and it just doesn't stack up, against those. But I do like the signing. I don't think it's enough to put you into top 4, but I do like it. I like Zinchenko as well. I think that's really good, really versatile player. Fabio Vieira, I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never seen him play. I would say, isn't he a cam? You have Smith Rowe, you have Martin Odegaard. You have players already there that can play in that position. I think you could have spent your money more wisely. They've signed Marquinhos. I don't know. again. I feel like they've signed quite random players, Arsenal. I'm just not sure. I think if you want to get top 4 at the moment, you'd have had to sign more ready-made players, and I'm not sure you have. And there's the signings you've made correlates with your squad, because your squad is full of potential. So now you've signed more players that are potential. I don't think you can look at them and say, oh, this is how good they'll be. I think there's a big question mark around them. I think all the players will be good. It's just you have so many young players. I'm just not sure how you do. But more importantly, I don't think they have the consistency to go over across a full season and get Champions League football. I just don't. So what can they do, in my opinion, to push on for top 4? Well, here's a tricky part. Mikel Arteta is going to have to be up to the standard of Thomas Tuchel, Ten Hag, Klopp, Pep, Antonio Conte, and we can chuck West Ham in there as well, David Moyes. Now, is he at that level? I don't think so. He's young. I don't think he's ready for that yet. And he's going to have to be... When you think of these managers that are elite, it's the mentality they set into the players, which is what makes the managers elite. I don't know if Arteta has that in him to put that mentality into the players, for them to go a full season in the Europa League, which is another reason why I don't think they'll get top 4. The Thursday, Sunday schedule, flying to Romania, and then coming back and playing Newcastle away on the Sunday, it's tough. And also the players they have now, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Thomas Partey, Ben White, they'll all have to step up to another level, I think, to compete with the likes of, Spurs and Chelsea, because I do think they are just a bit above them at the moment. So those players are going to have to level up again from last season, which I think they might be able to do. I think Saka can go to another level. I'm waiting for Smith Rowe and Martinelli to do that. I haven't seen it. I think Smith Rowe has all the potential in the world, but for some reason it's just not clicking fully. How far do I think they can go? I would say in the Premier League, I think they can push for top 4, but I don't think they can get it. I think they're just a little bit off. I think Chelsea, Spurs, Man United. Actually, I think Arsenal will finish above Man United. I think Chelsea and Tottenham just have a bit too much firepower. Too many ready-made players for Arsenal right now. I think in the Europa League, a few seasons ago, they lost to Olympiacos. I didn't think they would actually win the Europa League that year. The season before that, they lost to Chelsea in the final. I didn't think they'd win it. This time, I think this shows Mikel Arteta's progress is I think they can win it. I think they are probably the favourite, and I think they should have all the confidence to go on and try and win that trophy. And it's a fantastic way to get into the Champions League, of course, as well. And win a bit more silverware. That means Mikel Arteta wins an FA Cup and the Europa League, which is a successful period in what's been a really turbulent time at Arsenal. I do have a message for Arsenal fans, because I don't like the way most of your fans are toxic. I don't like how much of an over-exaggeration everything is with Arsenal. I'm not saying that's all Arsenal fans, that's other fans as well. Don't be toxic. If you don't get top 4, Arteta doesn't have to be sacked. Players don't have to leave. I think this is a year where you'll play some of the best football in the Premier League. You have really good footballers, really good technical players. Just enjoy it. You have a good team for the first time in years. And if you don't get top 4, you get Europa League. Your players will develop even more. And then in a few years, you probably get top 4 again. So really, I think Arsenal will finish about 5th. I think Arsenal will finish 5th. Probably about 7 points off top 4, I think, towards the end of the season. I think they'll have periods where they're really good. I think they'll have periods where they're not so good. I think there's just too many potential players in there for them to be consistent. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Let me know where you think Arsenal will finish. And thank you for watching. Somehow forgot to say this in the video, but when I say how to get top 4, buy Yuri Tielemans. Why have Arsenal not bought Yuri Tielemans? Someone tell me. Don't understand. That would probably help.